Welcome back, everyone. This time it's me and Simon. We're getting ready for round 5. But before we get ready for round 5, I asked Simon if he could do his homework on like the metagame breakdown at the top tables. So, what did you find, Simon?
Oh yeah, I've been following all the top tables here, and I have a list of the 11 players who are right now 4-0 and what their deck lists are.
Okay.
And we do have 2 people playing Valakut, as well as 2 people on Living End at the top here at 4-0.
Yeah.
And then we have a smattering of cool decks. Like we have Hammer Time, we have Burn going 4-0. We have a single blue-red player left at 4-0 despite being super popular in the tournament. A lot of them got draws, so we might see them later on with shaky records.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, we also have got a red-black mid-range deck. As well as the Ponza deck we saw earlier. He's 4-0.
Mr. Clothis.
Yeah,
the one of Clothis doing
exactly.
work.
Yeah, I saw the Clothis in play as well on the table there.
Both games.
Still doing work.
Yep.
Then we've also got Oscar Christensen on Prison Tron, who we saw earlier as well.
Yep.
And Tobias Godfredsen on Dredge. And that is going to be our feature match this round.
I mean, that's super. That sounds like an awesome an awesome matchup here. So I would assume the Prison deck should have some game 1 interaction against the Dredge deck.
Yeah, I would assume so too. Like they've, at least there's Karn that can fetch out stuff like Torment Script, right? And the Graphic Cage. We also got like main deck Relic to fetch up with your Ursa Saga. So
I was about to ask if there are some hateful pieces to go for with Saga.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely cool. So looking at this Dredge deck, I used to play Dredge with, Golgari Grave Troll available, Faithless Looting available. But these days, we have to work with something, it's not a luxury. It's not a luxury anymore. So now we have to play. Let's see what's the fixes for it. I guess Thrilling Discovery is like a
that's one of the newer cards. It's actually interesting because Dredge has not really been showing up lately.
Right.
Very much.
Yeah. Let's just go to full screen game mode here, so we're ready.
Yeah. Let's hope that they know that they're ready to start.
Otherworldly Journey. No, Otherworldly Gaze. Sorry, is that the blue one, the mill one, the flashback?
Yeah, this is like a very multicolor Dredge deck.
Yeah.
Otherworldly Gaze is like 1 blue mana. Look at the top 3 cards in your library. You may put any number of them in your graveyard, and it has flashback for 2.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like your faithless looting,
or like a Shriekhorn, maybe even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just got the green light for the players.
This definitely seems to be ready. So, yeah, let's delve into this Dredge match.
Yeah,
where they turn on Ursa's Mine into Expedition map.
So we have to swap the names and decks.
We do have to swap the names and decks.
It's the opposite way around. It's not a weird Dredge deck going turn 1 Expedition map.
Yeah, that is true. That would be odd. Do you recognize the Tron lands by their artwork?
I think the bottom one is a mine and now it was a power plant.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was. At least Oscar is nice to us and is playing the same artwork of all his Tron lands.
Yeah, that's perfect. I would just go for the newer ones, like the 8th edition or that artwork anyway, because then you can just recognize it by color more easily, I think.
We see actually playing Spellsky instead of activating the map. That's interesting because that lets Tobias cast the...
now we can unload the Dark Blast, which needs a target.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, I just...
Oh, and he hit 2 Nakamibas and a Creeping Chill? Wow.
I mean, that's just how you do it. That's how you do it, right?
And I assume, since he kept his hand, that he does have a Thrilling Discovery or a Cathartic Reunion.
I agree, too. So, with no play turn 1, and no mulligans, I just assume 2-mana Enabler every time. So, yeah, so Cathartic Reunion is an additional cost to discard the cards, which isn't a problem unless you're playing against counter spells. But here, you can do whatever you want. Getting rid of a Prized Amalgam and Golgari Thug. And here comes the replacement draws. Dredge 4. Dredge 5. Not much juicy stuff aside from... Okay, there's one more, so let's...
Oh, yeah.
Let's hold our horses here.
Up.
Is that... Yeah, that's one Archimeeba, one Creeping Chill.
Okay, that's not too bad. If there's no... But it's also the Prized Amalgam that was discarded, though, which will see this Nakamibba come into play.
Yeah, so at the end of turn, it will return to the battlefield. Second Creeping Chill.
I definitely reduce, and then you also got the attack for 2 in the air here.
Yeah.
So
I thought about the spell guide. I thought, oh, that's very good against like.
Right, he dredged in the upkeep actually, so they don't have haste.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, no 2 damage. The spell guide isn't good against Conflagrate because if you just deal 1 damage to the spell guide and the rest to the opponent's face, then it doesn't really work.
Exactly.
I remember it from back in the day with cards like Electrolyze and Inferno Titan. Back when I was a kid.
I was also thinking about Electrolyze in your defense.
Yeah. So that's when it was relevant last time around, I guess.
The 0-4 blocker does line up pretty well against this Price Amalgam.
Yep.
And Tobias managed to not hit a Silver Smoke Ghoul, one of the other new cards for this deck.
So
And-
did that card just replace Bloodghast?
Yeah, I think people are just like off the block guys now.
Yeah.
It seems a lot more efficient to just like hit Creeping Chill as well as Silver Smoke Ghoul.
Yeah.
The issue for Tobias here is that he's hit 2 chills by now. And
Yep.
oh, that's just natural Tron from.
I was about to
Oscar.
say that's
Classic.
what when my opponent finds something better to do than cracking a map, they just have it already.
Yeah, that
I
makes
mean-
sense. That is a good point. Yeah, that definitely says something about Oscar's hand.
So what's Oscar's end game here? It must be something about ensnaring bridge and a healthy life total.
Or maybe the plan is just a free ballista. I mean, I think he's definitely hoping to like find a Karn at some point, but
Yeah.
right now he needs to just not take too much damage. But I think this actually kind of like stabilizes the board in a way. Obviously, like Tobias is still dredging on and putting on pressure that way,
Yeah.
but the ballista can kill 2 of the Nakuebas, still stick around, and the spell guide blocks the Price Amalgam.
Yeah, so that's
And it-
actually reducing the damage output severely.
We do see now the the otherworld gazes being milled. And like
Yeah.
those can start to get cast now as we enter
flashback value here.
as we enter what is, I guess, like the mid game for the Dredge deck. I was about to say late game, but maybe that's pushing it a bit too much.
Yeah, everything's relative around here. So let's see. There was a cool question in the chat here. So, what deck should I start with if I've never played Modern? What would be your like the first thing you were thinking about when you hear those words?
Yeah, I mean the classic one is Burn, but like you also want the person to like keep playing Modern.
Yeah.
So there's I think like Hammer Time is like another cool
Yeah.
deck that could be really good to learn, or like Yorkmoth in a like creature deck.
Yeah, you're right.
That is also like likely to stick around in the metagame. That's pretty
Yeah.
important too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that, like the durability, the likeliness of the deck being relevant, dodging bans, all sorts of stuff is maybe even like budget-wise. Lots
Yeah.
of, yeah, I think that's a good
I think in general, oh yeah, the Dark Tide, the
Dark Blast.
Dark
will finish
Blast,
off
yes,
the Spell
exactly.
Guide, yeah.
But yeah, I think in general in Modern, like it's so important that you like know your deck well. So instead of just picking up a deck that's easy to play, because you're going to play the deck for quite a while,
Yep.
just pick something that you think is fun and interesting, that you think you can play for like half a year, and at some point you will be like good enough with it that it doesn't actually matter if the deck was easy or not.
So, yeah, but with a deck like Hammer, you also have to realize that maybe it's not the easiest deck to learn, so you'll take some beatings in the beginning.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to accept that, I think.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a good thing though.
Yeah.
So that means you're learning. Ooh, hitting 2 Price Amalgam and
And an Ox?
Ox.
Yeah.
That's really good. But the Price Amalgams don't come back yet. So now Oscar's he really needs to find an answer to this,
Yeah.
because the Ox coming back, bringing back the Price Amalgams, stretching a bunch, that could actually turn the game around for Tobias. Because right now, Oscar, I think, is kind of in the driver's seat here. Untapping with so much mana.
He is, and what I'm wondering about is what Dredge's endgame is these days, because it used to be like Life from the Lone Conflagrate. Now there's just one copy of Conflagrate, so that
Yeah, and you don't even have Loam in this deck. Yeah, right now, it's mostly just that the Ox of Agonas is just incredibly good at like rebuilding a board or like finishing up the last pieces of
definitely.
Dredge you need.
But the more you like focus on attacking, the more ensnaring bridge will disrupt you. But
Yeah,
let's
that
see,
is true.
Let's see what Oscar's going for here.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's just some like bread and butter graveyard hate.
It is indeed an ensnaring bridge.
Okay.
Yeah, and he probably knows that like the decks do not play Life from the Loam anymore. And if this Ox comes back, it's going to discard Tobias' entire hand.
Yep.
So that means Conflagrate is not even that good.
Yeah. Conflagrate definitely a long way from being good here, but Karn is only at 3 loyalty, but yeah. Oscar at 13 life. I wouldn't be too scared. 2 chills already gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually a really safe life total because he did not get any damage from his creatures. That's extremely important for the Dredge deck that you
Yep.
not only hit the damage spells but also creatures to go with them.
Now, fun fact is that Dark Blast will actually keep Oscar off having 3 artifacts for Inventor's Fair, which is something.
Yeah, that could be really important. Also, just getting rid of that Walking Ballista. I think Oscar has like what, one card left in hand.
Yeah.
So that's at least like real nice that nothing can really attack because the Ballista can just take out this Nakamura because Oscar knows there's Dark Blast anyway,
Yep.
so might as well cash it in. I will also note that it was a Silver Smoke Ghoul being milled alongside a Creeping Chill, which means it will come back.
Okay.
But yeah, and as I said, Oscar just doesn't even take the 1 point of damage.
Yeah, the context of the Dark Blast being dredged is definitely important there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it wasn't for that, untapping with the Ballista is obviously quite strong with all the mana available. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how Tobias decides to dig out of this one. Because when he's under the bridge, his sole win condition becomes the chills and conflagrate, right?
Yeah, and Karn will just minus again next turn and find the answer to conflagrate in terms of like a cage or a Thomas Crypt.
Yeah. Wonder if there's anything that just ices the game from Karn. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, we actually lost Oscar's deck list, so we'll have to see what is.
Yesterday he talked about a card called Possessed Portal. Do you know what that card does?
I don't
It's like
remember.
eight mana, lock your opponent out in some way, but I can't remember how.
Yeah, that is. If someone could type, like card Possessed Portal in the chat so we can see it on screen.
That would actually be helpful. But he was like, "This is the new lattice. This is poor man's Mycosynth lattice."
Yeah, I definitely seen it before. And like, if a player would draw a card, the player skips that draw instead. At the beginning of each end, each player sacrifices a permanent unless they discard a card.
I think it's very hard to understand, even with the text in front of me.
Well, so it just says like players can't draw cards anymore, and then it slowly like sacrifices a permanent every turn unless people discard a card.
So if you have the most permanents,
Because you have a card going that will just like, so you don't really care about not getting a draw step.
okay. So chances are you'll have the most permanents.
Yeah, that too. I mean, yeah, you need like to run them out of the stuff they already have.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works against Dredge though, because it's like 2 replacement effects. So that is also something.
It really is.
Anyhow, we've now seen this Ox come into play, and there's like a bunch of things going on with the graveyard. I think a bunch of Silver Smoke Ghouls are coming into play. Because remember, like, in his draw step, he did build a Creeping Chill, which gained him 3 life, so...
Is it like a delay trigger? Yeah, I would guess. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, exactly. So the Silver Smoke Ghouls don't have to be in the graveyard to see the life being gained. They just trigger at the end of the turn, checking if you have gained 3 life. So it's not the same as with...
So let's see, you dredge on your draw step, you hit chill, and then later on you put a ghoul into the yard. It still remembers the chill? Or
Yes, exactly, yeah. Because it'll just check, did you at any point during the turn gain 3 life?
Yep.
And indeed you did. So there's like 15 power coming into play off the 5 power Ox. Which is, like, that is the end game of the Dredge deck, but...
So let's see here if this Tormod's Crypt actually...
Oh, yeah, so Oscar just gets Tormod's Crypt and just uses it immediately.
Uh-huh.
Huh. And, yeah, now he's... Okay,
So I would guess the Conflagrate got milled?
Yeah, probably.
Because, as we can see, we have the deck list in front of us. Only 1 Conflagrate is in Tobias's list. So,
alright, yeah, so that... so Tormod's Crypt was the thing that just ices the game, I guess.
Yeah,
Just a single one.
Yeah, with the context being the 1 Conflagrate was already in the Tobias's yard, so... Yeah, that was pretty cool, and I kind of predicted Ensnaring Bridge being, like, the way to shut the deck down like, game 1, but yeah, as you said, Karn is, like, the way to get there. I would think this deck also plays main deck Bridge. Well, it did, because
it has three Bridges main deck on one sideboard.
Oh, yeah, so that's where the prison element comes from, I guess.
Yeah, and the Chalices, right? Like, this is definitely a prison Tron deck.
Yeah.
Someone in chat noticed that with the Ox, Tobias really needed to actually take a draw step to draw an untap land, so that he could cast a Conflagrate killing Karn.
Okay.
I still don't think it actually gets him anywhere, because, like, yeah, he would actually only have 2 cards in hand, so that wouldn't even work. Just see what happens.
Was that at the time Karn was at 3 loyalty?
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay. Yep. But yeah, you have to get creative and think about stuff like that. So even though you come to the conclusion, okay, that wasn't enough, but at least it kind of, it's a train of thought, right? You think about alternative ways to use your cards.
Yeah, there's a lot of time with this dredging. Like, some of the hardest decisions are whether to take a draw or dredge more.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in the post-board games where you have sideboard cards you can draw towards.
For sure. That's so tough. You have to make some very, very hard judgment calls. And also, just a reminder, the winner of this match is qualified for tomorrow. Did you think about that?
That's true, yeah. You need 5 and 3 to make day 2, and these players are both 4-0.
Yep.
So
they have a few bullets in the chamber to get there.
Yeah.
If you want the best record as possible for tomorrow, because points will carry over, and your path to top 8 can be, it can be easy, can be medium, can be hard mode. So these players will prefer to just win as many matches as possible, get the practice in, and have a good starting spot for tomorrow.
We've got the 3 Ancient Grudges going on in the sideboard of the Dredge deck here.
Wow,
which they have to be huge in this matchup.
Yeah, Ancient Grudge is just, I assume, a card against hate pieces, like, to begin with. But now when you get to target stuff like Ensnaring Bridge, that's just awesome. They're good to mill, they're good to draw. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
3 Ancient Grudges.
He might also bring in his 3 Fortieces.
Okay.
Actually, like, Tobias' sideboard is just like 3 Gemstone Caverns coming in on the draw exclusively.
Right.
3 Ancient Grudge, 3 Portable Hole, 3 Leyline of Sanctity, and 3 Forties.
Wow. Okay. So Simple Man. Simple Man. I would. I mean, the Grudges, they're a shoe-in, and then I'm really not sure. That's always what I'm worried about when I'm playing a proactive deck.
Yeah.
Unfair strategy. I don't want to dilute my own strategy too much, because then all of a sudden the reason to play the deck to begin with is kind of gone, right? So yeah, let's see how extreme the sideboarding of Tobias is.
Yeah, I would think that you can bring in maybe 2, maybe 3 Fortieces. The Dark Blasts are not very good anyway, so you can shave on those a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can only shave, right? You can't just remove them.
And maybe you can find some stuff some other where, like maybe you shave a Silver Smoke Ghoul and so on. That's usually how it goes with the sideboarding of. Yeah,
that's how I remember from playing Dredge. You have your, like, the core of the deck you're never touching, and then you can shave like the worst stretcher.
Yeah, except you don't actually have a real core. It's just like, because your core is a lot of different cards that function a similar role.
Yeah.
Like you have enablers, stretchers, and payoffs.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And lands, right? Those are the 4 cards that are in Dredge. And so you, like, the balance between them always has to be, like, pretty high.
Yeah.
So you have to remove a little bit from each category.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, worst enabler, worst stretcher,
Yes.
stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good strategy for sideboarding. With Dredge, it's just every deck is different in Modern. It's just Magic is just such a complex game.
Right. So we see the classic Dredge mulliganing. Name a more iconic duo.
Yeah, well, I can't because I'm a Vintage player, and playing Dredge and mulliganing is. So this is speaking of mulligans.
Yes.
Yeah, this is cool. So we saw this earlier, and yes, Serum Powder. Oscar even played it as a mana rock in the game we cast.
Yeah, and he won because of it, because it popped up his construct token.
Yeah, he won faster than he would have without it. So yeah, it was awesome. Let's see.
So he's just gonna get to draw 7 new cards.
7 new cards.
I remember, like, when they changed to the London Mulligan rule, people were really high on the Serum Powder, because all of a sudden, it actually gets a little bit better, because...
Yeah, it really does. Yep. But yeah, I remember people considered it for, let's call it, real decks.
Yeah.
Which you really need a deck like Oscar for it to even be plausible. I feel like anything more fair or more... like, with redundant copies of cards, it's super sketchy to even consider that card. Because you will draw it sometimes, and you will have to keep 7-card hands with it, because the rest are just serviceable. Stuff like that. So you really need to look for something specific or a specific combination for it to be good, but... I mean, it's awesome to see in Modern.
It's also, like, specifically the Prison Tron deck. It, like, wants to get certain combos going, but it has not much card selection.
Yep.
Like, it has, like, Expedition Map is kind of card selection. It has kind of the Mystic Forge, but not really. So, like, Serum Powder is, like, that is the card selection you get to play.
That's a good point, and I also think the card gets better after sideboard once you know your matchup. So, do I have a key card in my opening hand from my sideboard? Do I have, like, a good opening? Now he has the context to actually decide, because you know the matchup. So I actually think it's a better Game 2 and 3 card than Game 1.
That makes sense, yeah. We do see 1 bridge being exiled by Oscar. One note, by the way, these cards are exiled. That means Karn can grab them.
Karn can grab.
So if Karn grabs an Ensnaring Bridge, it gets blown up. Then he can grab the other Ensnaring Bridge from the exile.
Yeah, it's quite nasty. That Karn used to be unrestricted in Vintage when it came out, so you would have a lot of games like your opponent would kill your Time Vault, then you would go for a Tormod Crypt to exile your own yard so you can get back that Time Vault and win with it later.
You know
Stuff
what?
like that.
We're still doing that in 2022. in Pioneer. It comes up.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's awesome. So a lot of mulligans going on here.
Tobias going to 4 cards.
Yeah, I was about to
here.
say I even lost track.
You know, it's always the thing, right? Whenever you see your opponent mulliganing and you're in a tournament,
Yeah.
and you just like, just want to get that free win, right? You see the mulligans of 5, you're like, yes, yes, yes. Then you see the mulligans of 4, and you're like, oh no, they're on Dredge, aren't they?
Yeah, I think for me that threshold is like from 6 to 5. Then I'm thinking,
Oh,
from
really?
6 to
Oh,
5,
I'm not
yeah.
against a 5 so much.
Yeah.
I consider 5 to be like the same as 7, basically.
Yeah,
You
that's
heard it here first. 7 is the same as 5.
yeah. That's just so insane. But I realize I'm not taking advantage of the London mulligan as much as I could. I'm just so scared of mulliganing. I need to develop that skill, I think.
I'm scared of mullings of 4. I don't like that so much. But it doesn't happen that often. Because, like, oftentimes you can just keep any 5. Because you still draw 7 cards, right? And
Yeah.
you get to have a good hand. But yeah, Tron and Dredge are like the decks that, you can mulligan to 4
Yeah, green
and still have good
Tron
hands.
and Dredge, I think that makes sense. That's just what you sign up for.
Yeah.
Because the strategy is just not good enough if you rely on the top of your deck. You need to like sculpt your plays. So yeah, you get to look at 7 cards, but you only get to keep 4. And that is enough with like a potent Dredge draw.
Do you see he has Ancient Grudge? If he has like Grudge 2 lands, it's really
Yeah.
hard, right? Because
Now you have to choose between doing something or answering your
you would like
opponent's
to
stuff.
keep a Dredger, a Cathartic Reunion, and 2 lands, and that's your 4-card hand.
Uh-huh.
You would also really like to have the Grudge here. So it's just maybe you're just gonna have to like hope that your first draw step is good enough.
Yeah, but what do you hope for? Do you get rid of a Dredger? Do you get rid of a land? So
Yeah, I think usually you might have. Yeah, I think
You have to make
have to get rid of the Grudge and just hope you dredge it.
yeah, I think once you're that far down, I would prefer doing it like that and just okay. I can't really afford to
All right.
play around
You
hate.
see, Oscar is running back the same strategy from game 1.
Yeah.
Oh, with a double City of Brass draw here.
Yeah, I think that's fine against this deck.
Yeah, it's totally okay. It's not really what a matchup is about, and it's nice to have your mana just being set up.
Yep. Yeah, as you said, it plays blue cards, it plays borrows cards, it plays black cards. So yeah, this is just a rainbow mana more or less. Okay, so he did keep the Grudge. I didn't see what he actually ended up bottoming.
Oh, interesting.
So,
that
I mean-
also that is actually interesting because you don't actually need to like dredge turn 1. You can just like start
Yeah.
going for Oscar's artifacts here.
So you also get one more turn to draw into the
Exactly.
Dredger you bottomed.
Oh no, does Oscar have natural Tron again? He cannot possibly be that lucky, right?
Agree.
Gun down to 16.
That would be too much.
Oh, now we see the Thrilling Discovery. Gaining back that life,
Oh yeah, the free life gains.
Cutting Nakamiba and stick with him. Yeah, see, so
So he got
Tobias
there
is-
somehow.
Yeah, exactly. He has no more cards in hand, but that's okay.
Yeah, this is a mulligan to 4, which is just can be super potent depending on what happens here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, let's see what these 5 cards give him. He needs to hit another dredger of this one to keep going.
Yeah, but he
That's
he
another
will.
stink
That's why
rating.
he's 4-0.
Ooh. And a Silver Smoke Ghoul. He is only getting 2 life this turn, though.
Is there even the 3rd Dredger out there? Isn't it another Stinkweed on the bottom?
Yeah, there's another Stinkweed, yeah. So,
Okay, he's
but he needs to hit a Nakamiba in order to get this, or a Creeping Shield in order to get this price.
yeah.
The amalgam
If
into play.
he gets there, I need to get my autograph book from the room and hit him up afterwards.
No, he bought it in Portable Hole as well.
Wow.
I wonder if he cut a Nakamiba or a Creeping Shield for that one, right?
Yeah.
It can be painful.
Yeah, I hate to see that, but yeah, because
It might make sense on the play specifically because you hit the expedition map and the like relics and so on.
yeah, I just hate to try and morph into some control deck when I'm Dredge.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's trying to morph into control deck. It's mostly like protecting his engine pieces.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, natural Tron.
yeah.
What
There's
did you do?
the so what comes here? He's tapping 7 mana, so
Oh, Trini Sphere.
Three-
Because he knows that Tobias just has Stingweediums in hand.
the 3-ball.
Yeah, it just has 3 Stingweediums. So he can't
Oh.
cast the Ancient Grudge unless he draws a land.
Yes,
Can't
Trinisphere.
cast Otherworld Gaze. Like, he's just...
Yeah, he's locked out until he finds a 3rd land.
That's really
And
smart.
Karn can go get liquimetal coating, so it's now or never. Liquimetal
Yeah,
coating will
that's true.
more or less ice the game, right?
Or maybe the Possessed Portal. Stopping any draw step. That's also another
Oh.
way to ice the game, right? If Tobias doesn't draw a land here,
I want to see
yeah,
the
he will
possessed
not get
portal.
another draw step for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Unless it works weirdly with Dredge and you can actually still Dredge under the Possessed Portal.
Yeah, that,
We have no
what
idea.
are you? Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think liquimetal. Ooh, yeah, That's not. You don't want to pass the turn there.
That was the second tower in Oscar's hand, just like casually having 10 mana on turn
Oh yeah.
4.
Oh yeah. The good old 10 mana.
And your opponent mulligans a 4? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad sportsmanship.
Yeah. At least pretend that you have a bad draw.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Oscar's looking at his sideboard here, considering maybe he is asking a judge right now.
He's asking a judge if it's BM to just. So, isn't the game over if he goes for coding, upkeep, activate on one of the cities? Then you can like. Oh, I guess it's okay. So then if Tobias draws a land, he has 3 mana on Oscar's turn.
Yeah, no, then Tobias needs to draw 2 more lands, right? Because the coding will stop a land on this turn.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, then he can actually flashback the garage on.
He will get a window.
upkeep.
He will get a window.
That's
Yeah.
true. But if he then breaks another sign for the land, then the game is over. Because
Yes.
Khan will just
Now
the land.
then it will be Stone Rain time.
Yeah. But, if Possess Portal works, then
Tobias is never going to see another land because no more draw steps.
there's also no more dredgers in the graveyard, right? But the Possess Portal will enable a discard, because that's how it works. Right? You have to sacrifice a permanent list to discard.
Yeah.
Which to put the Stingwithims back in the graveyard so that you can dredge them again.
I see.
And
what
maybe you
you're
can win off the
saying.
dredges.
And then
It's probably too slow, but
yeah, too much time I think for the Prison Tron deck to fail at this time.
he says sure he has Grudge. He does have Grudge indeed, but since Training Sphere affects any spell also cast from the graveyard,
Yep.
it has to pay 3 mana for the flashback of Grudge.
Yeah. So fun fact, did you know you could delve like through a Trinisphere?
Yes, I did know that. And through Thalia too.
Yeah, I mean that makes
Oh yeah,
a little
but
bit
delving
sense.
through
But delving through a Trinisphere is. I remember when it came out and it was kind of confusing. People were like, "Trinisphere always wins." Okay, that's a good way to remember it. But then delve spells came and okay, so there's a way through it.
yeah, but you're actually not delving through it. You don't have to delve extra, right?
Yeah, that's true. But you like
Yeah, it just
ignore it by it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, so maybe Tobias should put in some hooting mandrills to defeat this here Trinisphere.
Yeah, this is just such a brutal draw from Oscar. He didn't give in game 1 the turn 1 expedition map. He never had time to activate it. He had better things to do, and this game he didn't care about it getting removed. It was just.
By the way, the pause here, I am 100% sure now that there is a judge question about the specifically Possessed Portal versus Dredge.
Okay. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Calling it now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm with you on that one.
Because you're not thinking for this long, just leaving his options like face down on the table, not looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not what's going on here.
Yep. Yeah, that's very, very possible.
We might even have to get head judge involved. Can we switch over to the other match actually?
We can
Should we just do that, right? Because this match is basically over.
we can see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's still running. Okay.
All right, so we have
Simon,
red,
you're
black,
the man
mid-range.
here. Great call.
Red white mid range versus blue white hammer time.
Oh yeah, Blue White Hammer time. I had the pleasure of just playing a few games against it yesterday. It didn't go well. I lost both matches and I felt like I got outplayed. That deck is like modern day Infect. Make a misstep, you're dead, right? But it also just
Yeah.
has such a good.
It also
grind
has
here.
an actual infect card. So right now we see actually the reality chip being attached to Stoneforge Mystic here, which basically is a future sight now.
It is a future sight, but not. I mean, not all players. For many players, future sight is a set where Tarmogoyf was printed. But future sight used to be a triple blue plus 2 mana enchantment, where you can now play the top of your library. You do have to pay mana, so it's not like Bolas' Citadel, go crazy. But it is quite a strong value engine.
I see that Sebastian indeed did win game 1. I wonder what that Pithing Needle is naming here.
Yeah, Needle on that side of the table. My best guess is Ursa's Saga, but I'm really not sure.
Yeah, that could be the case. It could also be Hammer. It could be... It's not Relic. Okay. Because that's getting activated right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not Relic. So...
But yeah, actually, I think you might be right, because I saw multiple Sagas in the graveyard.
Okay.
And
But how did they get there?
there's no constructs.
Oh, right. So it just tutored up some small artifacts, but
Yeah,
didn't-
but that's a die, yeah.
Yep. So we have a comment here. Are there no Tier 1 decks being played? I haven't seen one on coverage yet. So that's that's hard.
What do you mean Tier 1? There's like living in last round.
Yeah.
We don't feature many of the blue-red players for some reason. They just have Dutch coverage. A lot of them have gotten draws, and we've mostly featured undefeated players.
Yep.
So that's why. And this round, the only Murktide player was paired down into a person with a draw. So that's why they're not a feature this
So the decks are definitely here, but generally, Paper Modern tournaments are very diverse.
That's true.
And I mean, the difference between red-black mid-range and blue-red Murktide as like tier 1, tier 1.5 options, I think it's like, it's not that big of a gap, so it's even worth like.
Also, like Hammer Time is a tier 1 deck right now.
I would say so. I would say so.
Oh wait, what happened there? So we have the Blacksmith skill, which gives hexproof and indestructible.
It protected something. I just don't know what.
The Stoneforge against the Fatal Push, right? That's what
Okay,
happened.
but why is the Stoneforge gone now? Liliana down tick?
And then Liliana down tick, yeah.
Yep.
And now that still leaves the 0-4. So I'm guessing that oh actually no, now I see what happened. Liliana started by down ticking. And then like that leaves the chip. And then he Fatal Pushed the chip. +2/+2 to save it, because it's an artifact creature.
Yep.
And then like Christopher forgot about that. Attack with his 2/2/2s into the 2/6. Because it got pumped.
Oh, because of the pump.
Yeah. So that's why the Season Pyromancer is graveyard.
Definitely here. So we see some. Yeah, I just like. I mean.
Huh. Okay. Oh, the Alpine Moon, obviously naming Inkmoth Nexus.
Yeah. So now
That's
I would
nice.
guess Ursa Saga and Inkmoth Nexus are out of the picture. So no creature land shenanigans this game.
Yeah, and Sebastian only has a few cards in his hand, and he's
Reality
beat
Chip
down.
hits the bin from Liliana downtick, and one of my favorite cards, Season
I don't
Pyromancers.
actually have the life totals. I can.
Yeah, maybe we can switch the life totals to
Yeah, we're
the
at the
second
backup
feature
feature right now, so.
Hammer and Paladin hits the battlefield, but no Metalcraft.
Yeah, no removal as well either, it seems, from Christopher.
Yeah, because it would have been a good time to respond there. Do you? I always mess those two similar cards up. Do you draw the card when it hits the battlefield or when you play it? Battlefield, right? Or enters the battlefield?
Yeah, it's when it enters the battlefield, yeah, so you can
And
actually respond with
It's SRAM, where it's like on the stack you draw the card.
Yes.
And yes,
Correct.
as predicted, Oscar won the feature match with his Prison Tron deck 2-0, so he moves to 5-0 and is now qualified for tomorrow. So congratulations,
indeed.
Oscar.
Yeah, but we'll probably also see some buyers tomorrow as well. With his Dredge deck, he's messing people up.
He does have like 3 more shots left in the chamber, so yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, down to 4 lives, Sebastian, and we're going to a game 3 here. Okay, that's always nice. As we said earlier, it's much better to start in the game 3.
It's the same thing here, but I think we kind of deduced what was happening with the needle, and you figured out the turn with the pump spell, which...
Yes, exactly. Well, that was actually watching in front of us, but we just talked about other things and just completely missed what was going on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to like piece it back together.
Yeah, and also in the chat, he edicted the Stoneforge Mystic and pushed the chip, and yeah, that's where the protection spell...
Lonely Whistle says tomorrow. Yes, this is a 2-day tournament. So there will be 13 rounds. 8th day. Or 12 rounds.
12 rounds.
Yeah, 8th today for tomorrow.
Yep. So
And
8 rounds
top
today,
8.
4 tomorrow, followed by top 8. And it's going to be Simon, Andrea Mangucci, and myself walking you guys through from start to finish. Yesterday, I covered the old school tournament, which was such a good time. You guys should watch the VOD if you like to see Mox Pearl get bent. And you will want to see, like, Giant Growth, Berserk action for the win. It was
nice.
Yeah, that was
sounds
just
great.
We had it all, like huge brain geysers, huge mind twists. Definitely. I haven't
Huge
watched. I haven't played nor watched old school before. It was just pretty cool.
We talked earlier about a backup feature with Oliver Moon playing 3 Thorax main, 1 sideboard.
Yep.
Guess what this red-black player is playing?
Same thing.
Same thing. You actually see in the deck list, crossing out the number 3 in front of Lightning Bolt, going down to 2.
Yep.
Crossing out the number 2 in front of Turok, going up
Yeah.
to 3. Last minute change, adding the 4th one to the deck.
That is very dedicated towards beating, like 4-color, I would guess.
Yeah, possibly. And yeah, Murktide, and as you said, it's just a good card to play on turn 2, because you have so many discard spells in that deck.
Yep.
The red-black deck does have 3 Engineered Explosives in the sideboard, and 2 Alpine Moon, on top of like Pithing Needle, so there's like a lot of actually good hate cards.
Yeah, even
this matchup.
Even Terminate is just a fine card here.
But from the Hammer time side, we see the Sanctifier and Vec, which is the protection from black and red 2-drop.
Right.
Which
So
is-
that must be good against Rakdos, right?
It has to be, right? And then more blacksmith skills. I don't know how many are actually main deck. It seems like no blacksmith
the
skill
pump
main
spell?
deck. That is the one that's like it's a new one from the newest Modern Horizons. a random common. Random, but it's
Well, yeah.
it's a target permanent you control gains indestructible and hexproof. Can target a lands, can target your artifacts.
Okay.
If it's an artifact creature, it also gets +2.
Got it. Yeah, I know that one. It's the one he just played. In my head, that was game 1, so it must have been another card. That's why I asked.
Oh,
but okay,
yeah.
definitely. That was game 2. So, yep.
That's I see 3 Memnite here. 3 Artifact there. Okay, yeah. And I think we have we have a mulligan from the red-black player.
I've also seen the Hammer Time player take at least 1 mulligan.
Oh, so maybe they're both mulligan, or this is a multi-5.
That is very possible. So to clear up, I think the Pithing Needle last game was on Saga, and the Alpine Moon was on Inkmoth.
Yes. I think that was what was going on there. Ooh, okay, starting off with Sigarda's 8. That is the most important card in the Hammer deck, because you only have 8 ways to actually equip the hammer, so those are the ones you need to find. Because you have plenty of ways to find the hammer. And now we see turn 2 Saga. That's great timing for that one, because that means
really
you can make constructs before it goes away. 2 constructs.
If you have your 3rd mana source, you can have your cake and eat it too with the Saga.
Yes.
So the good thing about Saga in this deck is it actually also tutors for Colossus Hammer, so it adds some redundancy, good plan B.
I just want to point out, there's 3 Ornithopter, 3 Memnite in this deck list. Look how much better Memnite is against Dragavan than Ornithopter is.
Well, it depends how you look at it. If you want to attack for lethal or you want to block.
Yeah, that's the thing. Right. Because I would think that Ornithopter is just better. Oh, so the Dragavan just blocked this Memnite, which, I guess you only attack with it if you have the hammer. But he actually doesn't have the hammer. He has the Shadow Spear.
He had the Shadow Spear.
It was a bluff.
It really was, yeah.
So he just flashed that in just to give, +1 damage and gain 2 life, basically.
Yeah, I mean...
Because they were going to trade anyway.
If you don't... Yeah, it's still trading. But I still like the play because the alternative is passing the turn and then having your Memnite being soft to red removal all of a sudden.
That's true.
So might as well take the trade and then hopefully ride the Saga for later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I assumed that, Christopher assumed that, that Dragavan was not doing anything anyway. I'd rather not take 11 damage.
Since he's attacking, he might have another way to stop. Yeah, there's a lot of leveling going on there.
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting. So can we just, pause the match and just talk about this for 10 minutes?
We could easily, I feel like. It's actually very deep. But I actually like how both players played it. Yeah,
so now we're just moving on there from that very interesting turn 2. I wonder what Sebastian actually has in hand now. Does he have a spell pierce up? Oh, that is why you also block with Dragavan.
Well, that's the reason why you can spare the first one.
Oh.
Do you want to play out a Colossus Hammer?
Is not equipped to Dragavan, though. And sees no reason to play it. Okay. I mean, you don't plan on hitting a Pierce Deposit in the future? Sure.
So Inquisition sees the bad news, I would say. 2 lands is actually a good hand at this point.
Well,
1 would have been enough, but 2 is better because of Inquisition.
And that too, right? Yeah.
So that's actually, bad news.
It does seem like the Hammer player did mulligan as well, yeah.
Yeah.
To be in this few cards. But
Urza Saga is so good.
An issue with dashing in the Dragavan is that now it's not in play anymore, and you have to keep spending mana on the dash effect if you want it.
Yeah.
But it's only making a treasure every turn, so it's not even that good.
I agree. It's a lot of 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah. The dashing Dragavan early game, it can be really nice to play around stuff like Fury and Ren.
Yep.
But yeah, here it might just...
But also the Dragavan is attacking because might as well the Saga token would only be a 2/2.
Ooh, do you see we have the... what is the name of that land? It is Takenuma Abandoned Mire. So that one, do you remember what it does?
I thought it was... Are you sure? I thought you think it's a Shiso.
Oh, Shiso. Yeah, you're right. Shiso, the storehouse.
Yeah, that's
the one.
Fear? No, Swamp Walk or Fear?
I guess Fear.
Fear?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember it because it's from the first Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also what I thought it was. I just assumed that just like Boseiju, it's like a reprint, but that's of course not the same as the as the legendary land from the original Kamigawa cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, you confused me for a second.
Because Takenuma is from the new one, the new Kamigawa.
Yeah, that's the red one.
No, the black one.
That is the black one where you mill and return a creature. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Sokken-san or whatever it's called, the red one. Okay.
Yes. Sokken-san.
So
there's a lot of value lands in this red-black deck.
Yeah.
You also got Shinka Bloodsoul Keep to give first strike to your Dragavan. And your Zorak as well.
And maybe even Kroxa?
Maybe even Kroxa getting first strike,
Yeah, I mean, and then you have to play some filter lands to make up for it, I think. Yeah, Graven Cairns. Yeah, makes sense.
3 Graven Cairns. Okay, that's how the mana base is designed.
Yep.
Anyhow,
huge construct hits the battlefield.
So construct was made in a turn. Then upkeep, response to trigger, you make another construct. You fetch up a hammer, and because of the Goddess 8, that hammer just goes right on top of
equip it
your
right
construct.
away. So
This is like a 14/14 construct.
Are we in
and did he draw,
fatal push or bust range?
And he drew another artifact. So it's a 15/15 versus 18 life total.
Yeah.
And he has, and so the red-black pair has nothing here. Christopher takes 15 damage, goes down to 3 life.
I just checked on my calculator. 18 minus 15. That is 3. That's not a lot.
I'm so glad you brought your calculator. It's even like one of the old ones with like the balls you have to move along the strings.
Oh yeah, I wish I knew the English word, but it's funny in Danish anyway. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the red-black deck typically doesn't play that well from behind. The game plan is usually trying to make sure things don't get out of hand.
Exactly, and Inquisition was cast, and it did not prevent anything of this mess.
That's so. Like Ursus Saga, sometimes all you need is just some random artifact on an Ursus Saga.
It's been to play Ursus Saga in hand and playing turn 1 Cigadas 8. Then like the red-black deck is just super cold, that interaction actually.
Yeah. Yeah, card like Alpine Moon would have helped immensely this game.
Oh yeah,
maybe even swung it in.
And he can do Season Time Rangers to make jump blockers, but there's a Shadow Spear.
Shadow Spear will provide some form of evasion and trample. Yeah, just some brutal times to be a mid-range player.
But that is indeed what's going on. Though, however, if you can find a push for this construct,
the biggest one,
yeah, the hammer will fall off, and there's no paladin to re-equip it.
Right.
So that actually does answer a lot of the problems here. The issue is, of course, that there's still another construct, which is large, and the Shadow Spear, so...
Yeah, I was about to say, which creature are you going to equip with the Shadow Spear? I'm leaning towards the small one.
Yeah, because it's not even that small, right? It's going to be a 6/6.
And even... It's a good scenario. So if the big one dies, I still have a good play. If the big one doesn't die, probably doing fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think you equipped the small one.
But I'm not sure.
It's equipped by... Oh, so here we actually have Pure Steel Paladin and Stoneforge Mystic. So that is a loaded hand if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, so he chose to draw the gas after the Inquisition.
That's a smart play.
That's what every Jund player will complain to you about.
Yeah.
I couldn't beat the top of my opponent's deck. I had their hand covered.
All of us have a Jund friend who will come up to us at every each round and complain about the opponent top decking after the Inquisition.
I lost to the top of the deck.
Yeah.
The hand wasn't a problem, but...
But yeah, that is why we play Magic, though. It is the top of the deck. So we have this absolutely huge hammered up creature.
Yeah.
And
with a spear on it.
Okay, Christopher has something. It's a Terminate.
Okay.
That does answer it, but as I said, the Pure Steel Paladin re-equipping now is
it's
a big game.
It really is, yeah. As you talked about, that was one way for the red-black player to get back into the game, like the hammer being unable to get equipped again.
Mm-hmm.
But not this time.
Yeah, I love this. Differentiating, so you put the hammer on the Pure Steel.
Yep.
Maybe actually you're supposed to put the switch them around even.
Well, if you like that,
then on the construct.
This lightning bolt can actually kill a creature.
That's true. Yeah, this way actually made Dutch lightning bolt. That's pretty neat. All right, we're trying again with the Season Power Manager. I'm trying to find another answer. Thoughtseize and Turok goes away. They are not what we need right now. Except actually, what Christopher doesn't know is that he kind of needs Thoughtseize too, because there's a Stoneforge Mystic coming as well.
Yeah, that's what I was... I don't think I said it before. With Luris, it was obvious the deck had like a very good late game, but it still does.
Yeah.
Like Ursus Saga, Stoneforge Mystic, those
we
are...
wouldn't even have time to Luris this game.
Yeah.
So
I think the deck is still just awesome.
Oh, that's a nice Paradise Mantle. Drawing a card with Pure Steel Paladin.
Did you ever play that deck, like the Cheerios deck?
Yes.
It's like... Yeah, Paladin and Mantle just reminded me of
the tiniest pieces of the Cheerios deck are still left in the modern metagame.
Yeah, the core of that deck
is the one Paradise
5
Mantle.
cards or something.
Yes.
Maybe some lands, but yeah.
There's also blue-white deck too.
So, what's this Stoneforge gonna get?
Probably another hammer, right?
Yeah.
So you can just...
And you can... So, cool thing here is you can play it at instant speed after blockers are declared, which might not matter too much.
If you had a second Shadow Spear, you would have gotten that, but it's not.
Right.
But anyway, can you actually block out this construct so you survive? Like, not against the hammer.
No, I think this is just a lost cause unless there's a fatal push in Christopher's hand.
Yeah, because this is a 6/6 construct, so yeah, you do need to block with everything if you need to kill it at least. But then, yeah, the Colossus is... the Colossal Hammer is just coming in there, making it +10/+10.
All Christopher can do is like make his best bluff, but yeah, it's not good enough. The equip is announced, and
he gets to draw a card.
and he gets to draw a card from the. Yeah, that's true. That is true. So Hammer doing nasty things to get to 5-0. So we see Prison Tron and Hammer, first two players locking up day 2.
Yeah, 2 is a Saga decks. Just want to say.
2 Urza Saga decks, yeah.
Yeah, we still have 2 Valakut players playing out their matches.
Yep.
So we'll see how many of those escape to the 5-0.
Yep.
And the lone Murktide player left undefeated, as I said, was paired down.
Okay.
So we'll see how
But we might pick it later on.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm gonna look at some of the people who have draws in the later rounds here.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of Murktide among those players.
Definitely. So let's see if I can get us back here. I'm not doing a very good job. So I might need some technical assistance.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get good help.
No, it's just being left in the dark.
So let's see here.
I mean,
I think I got it now.
there you go. Okay.
I got it now. Hello, my friend.
Hey, Mango.
So we just saw the Prison Tron deck take care of business, and so did the Hammer deck.
Yeah, I watched the third game on stage.
Oof.
Urza Saga is a good card.
It really is.
Oscar is left, right?
Yeah, everyone.
Okay.
They called the timing around, so.
Oh, okay.